Deadpool and Deathstroke, Chapter 2. Welcome to Smallville, Act 2. The King of Smallville.
Oh, look! I have a script! Hell yeah, I got a script! It's about time Carl got... damn it! This isn't from Carl, it's from his next-door neighbor, the Chinless Wonder, over at Tiger Tales. I guess I'm just gonna have to keep slumming it around here until Carl finally gets his act together. Okay, whatever. I've done worse. So, let's see. What do we have here? We got this big old paragraph here, and I think we're gonna have to do a couple of takes, but I don't even know what the hell is going on in this scene. He just, Chinless Wonder, what is going on? You just send me lines and I don't know what's happening. All right, but I'll do what I can for you because maximum effort. All righty. Oh my God, here we go. Another chapter. Finally, where have you been, Tai God? I've been stuck here just watching Slade's ass. Now let's have a quick recap. Me and Slade woke up in the field of memories, not the field of dreams, the field of memories. Over a year has passed since Union Day, whatever the hell that is. And since both of our universes merged into one, ooh, that's gotta be messy. We don't know where we've been. We now find ourselves in Smallville, and I don't mean inside Superman. And we are gonna kill the man who claims to be their dictating savior. I think his name is Clark. Or Corin Sweat. Alright, let's do a second take. I'll read the script exactly for you this time, even though it makes me sound about as formal as a Shakespearean actor. And I hate to disappoint you, but Shakespeare is a little more effort than Deadpool deserves. Just ask Celine Dion.
Thanks, I think.
Hey, I am here to help. Now, please continue.
Slade Wilson stood there in a nicely dressed suit, adjusting his eye patch in a long mirror.
Ugh, damn thing.
Slade muttered to himself. Deadpool walked in, he sat down with a beer in hand. He pulled his mask halfway up his face and hooked onto his nose, allowing him to take a swig.
You're not gonna dress in something a bit suitable?
Slade asked.
Yeah, you can look all fancy in a suit, but I can't. Or are we forgetting that my skin looks like Freddy Krueger and Spawn had an ugly love child and then set him on fire?
Deadpool replied, pointing at his own chin.
Fair enough. I'll go in undercover and you watch from a high point. Things go south and then you can drop in.
Slade muttered.
Fine by me. I never really was into wine and cheese anyway. Who do I look like, Wallace and Gromit?
Deadpool sighed, taking another swig of his beer. The church was massive, a large, dark brown building with stained glass windows placed all around, big, beautiful, colourful windows depicting different biblical stories. The entrance was a large red double door which had been propped open, a banner hung overhead which read, "Welcome everyone." There was a few guards, police officers acting as guards. Slade quickly noticed they were armed. Slade walked up the large and long stone steps which led up to the church. He blended into a small crowd of nicely dressed people and quickly stepped inside. He scanned the room quickly. It was a large room with normal pews that would have lined each side of the middle of the runway, but had been moved to stacked against the wall. Tables with food and drinks filled their spots. He also saw several confession stands in the corner, and there was also 2 doors on each side of the main stage. Slade ran into a waiter who offered him a glass of wine. Slade gazed at the tray in his hand and the couple of glasses that sat upon it.
No thank you. I've been sober for a few years now.
Slade lied with a fake grin. "Congratulations, sir, and blessed seed," the waiter said. Then he walked away to offer someone else a drink. Slade shook his head. Then he carried on walking around. Suddenly everyone started to clap and applaud, and Slade spun on his heel to see the man walking into the church. Everyone had their eyes on him, clapping. Slade joined in on the applause to blend in. Hello, my children, and welcome to my home. A huge thank you to the people from this town who joined me in on the creation of our fine church. Welcome, everyone. Please enjoy this night. After the sun rises, this becomes a house of God, a house of worship, confession, respect, love, and purification. And as a sample of what I'm offering, as a taste of what is to come, we have our first confessor. Slade Wilson is here, the famous assassin known as Deathstroke. We haven't seen him since Union Day. Benediah Seed called out. His hand held out. Everyone then turned to Slade. Slade threw a glare at Seed. Seed walked up to him, his hand placing it on the shoulder of the assassin, gripping it tightly. "Hello, my son," Benediah Seed said gently.
You ate my father, you crazy son of a bitch.
Slade snapped. "Whoa, easy. No need for the aggression. Why is there so much tension in your soul, Is it maybe because your daughter is now dead? She was alive before you disappeared," Benediah Seed questioned, staring Slade right in the eye, his mouth slightly curling into an evil grin.
You killed her, you prick!
Slade barked. He shoved Seed, making him stagger backward. Two finely suited gentlemen caught Seed. He stood tall and straightened his sleeve. Now, Slade, that was rude. Violence is not welcome in the house of God, unless I deem it necessary," Benediah Seed said sharply. Slade scanned the civilians that slowly circled around them, their faces now blank and without expression. "Please, Slade, I am offering rehabilitation. Join the family. Become one of my children like most of the townfolk here have," Benediah Seed offered, holding his hand out for a handshake. The townsfolk took another step forward and they all started chanting in unison. "Join us, brother, bless Seed. Join us, brother, bless Seed," they all chanted. Suddenly, one of the stained glass windows shattered and Deadpool came flying into the room, crashing on the wooden floorboards. Every guest took a step back. Deadpool stood up and tossed a duffel bag over the crowd, and Slade caught it in one arm.
Hey everyone, I'm not Ryan. Miss me, folks? It's been a hot minute without me. Story's been kind of dragging, mostly because I don't even know what the hell is going on. It's all good though. I am here now, and things can get more entertaining from here on out, because DP always brings the party. Hey Slade, did you see my 3-point superhero landing? It was... okay, I give myself like a 6 out of 10. Wow, everyone is staring at me. Hey everyone, where's Carl?
Deadpool said awkwardly.
God damn it, Wade!
Slade barked. "Fine. I tried to offer you forgiveness, but I see I have no other choice," Benediah Seed growled. He then pulled up his sleeve, revealing a gold watch. He turned the crown, then pushed it in, and suddenly every single guest in the room pulled out some form of firearm, everything from pistols to assault rifles. Benediah Seed then took several steps back, blending in into the crowd. "Wade, Slade, it was good to see you," he muttered. Everyone then opened fire. Slade quickly unzipped the duffel bag and pulled out an assault rifle, and then he threw the duffel bag over his shoulder. He felt several bullets hit him, but ignored the minor pain, and he opened fire himself, and killed several people, their bodies dropping to the floor. He then slid across the ground. He grabbed a table and tipped it over, and he then hid behind it. Deadpool unsheathed one of his swords and started swinging. He slashed a woman's throat, and he kicked a younger man back. He then spun the sword around in his hand and thrusted the blade backwards, stabbing someone behind him. He then pulled out his sword from the guy's chest and slashed someone's legs, before headbutting a lady, all while blood exploded from all over his body as bullets ripped through him. His legs, torso, arms were now stained in blood. Bullets ripped through his body, and he healed quickly. As one bullet wound healed, another one was formed. His suit quickly became soaked in blood as he jumped around slashing people. Slade kept on leaning over the table he was using as a barricade and fired upon the crowd, killing several people with perfect aim. A few of the people advanced closer to Slade. He spun around and placed both feet against the table and kicked out. Using his super strength, he sent the table flying across the room, which slammed into 3 of the advancing attackers and pushed them away, slamming them into the opposing wall. Slade then pulled off his duffel bag and pulled out some C4 and ran around the room as he placed a C4 on the walls and activated it. At the same time, Deadpool sheathed his sword and pulled out both his guns. He spun around and aimlessly fired both of them. Bullets flew around the room and bodies dropped like flies around Deadpool. The floorboards quickly became soaked in blood, and Slade placed the last C4 on the wall and activated it. Then he ran at Deadpool, grabbed him, and dragged him out of the door. Both Slade and Deadpool walked backwards as they fired their guns at the crowd of gunslinging townsfolk. Bullets traded between the two, and the crowd slowly depleted as bodies would hit the floor, as the blood would splatter from Slade and Deadpool. As they got to the massive double doors, Slade pulled out a trigger and pressed the button. The C4 exploded, and the explosion threw Deadpool and Slade out of the church, and they crashed onto the large stone steps. The church crumbled as the walls exploded and flames erupted. Slade and Deadpool climbed to their feet, their healing factors kicking in properly, allowing their wounds to start to heal. Deadpool's body healing much faster than Slade's. They gazed upon the burning church and watched it crumble. Suddenly, a figure stumbled out of the burning building. It was a woman, her clothes burnt and torn and full of bullet holes. Her skin had melted and hung off her face. One of her arms barely hung off its shoulder. One of her legs bent too far inward, making her drag her foot across the ground. Purple liquid ran down her hanging arm. Wires, frail and sparking, kept her arm attached to the shoulder socket ever so slightly, and through the melted skin her metallic exoskeleton went from a shiny silver to a dull grey as the flames assaulted the metal plates. Her eyes were no longer human eyes, but red robotic ones, which also frazzled in the eye sockets. Deadpool pulled out one of his swords and stabbed the robot in the head, its body dropping to the floor. Deadpool then aimed his sword down at the ground and used his foot to push the robot's head off the blade.
The townsfolk? They were robots?
Slade asked, confused.
Holy crap! Who saw that coming? I just wasted so much ammo on a bunch of well-suited machines. I'm gonna fix that right now. Up, up, down, down, left, right, A, B, start. No, it's B, A, start. Damn it! Well, there you go, chinless wonder. I hope you're happy. See you next time. All right, Carl, where is he? I'm gonna get his number. I'm gonna call him right now.
Deadpool cried out. Deadpool and Slade both then headed back to Jim's bar, confused and concerned about the event that just transpired.
What you have just listened to is a product created by the Three Ranger Bros Studio.
Hosted by three cosplaying fathers who
happen to be massive geeks of all sorts of fandoms.
They are Mark, the Red Cornish Ranger,
Cosplay Dude 637,
and Tai Tiger.
The studio covers different types of YouTube videos, TikToks, podcasts, and live streams.
If you wish to find out who cosplays who, the YouTube channel, the TikTok accounts, and the podcasts, and all of the other social media platforms,
please go to the 3rangerbrostudios.com.